Sparta. How are you Spartans out there? Hey, yeah, you guys can be Spartans. Why not? We're true crime Spartans, right? I don't know. Let me know what you're thinking. Anyway, folks, it is Friday that I'm recording this. Yes, it is known as Black Friday. I was so glad to see that stores again were closed for Thanksgiving because, yeah, no one needs to be open. Even though I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, we had tacos giving is what my wife was calling it. Yeah, we just made a bunch of tacos. Tonight we're celebrating Thanksgiving with family that can all be together. So that'll be nice, you know? I look forward to this. I love this holiday season. I'll be getting more festive background here coming up soon. And yeah. So, yeah, folks, today I had a poll and you guys had all voted. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And you know what happens? Something happens and it's like derailed. We're going to go into another topic. We are going to be looking at Ghislaine Maxwell. So you're like, Ghislaine Maxwell? If you're not sure whom that is, she is she was Jeffrey Epstein's partner, girlfriend, lover, friend, best friend. They worked together. Yeah. Well, she has a court date. Monday. Monday. Yes. This coming Monday. And it's being very restricted and very narrowed down to what can and what cannot be brought up. And that's kind of bothered me, and I'm really curious about this case as I studied more about Ghislaine and about who she was and who her father was and how that all ties with them getting to know Jeffrey Epstein. Little quick here, if you're not familiar, I've already done a reading on Jeffrey Epstein, which I will put links in the cards. Now, Maxwell Ghislaine, she is facing 8 criminal counts tied to alleged efforts to entice minors to travel and engage in illegal sex acts, conspiracy to transport minors with intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, and sex trafficking conspiracy. Things that are not going to be addressed. Let's get into this. She's not going to be facing questions about helping Epstein arrange dates with women over the age of 18 for the rich and powerful men. We're talking men that rumors alleged would be such as our former presidents, Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, and other major billionaires. Also, she is not going to be questioned about the allegations from a victim who says in a civil lawsuit that Ghislaine had trafficked her to Britain's Prince Andrew when she was 17. So even though she's under 18, her case is not good enough. And if you're over 18, sorry, you're an adult and we're not going to address it. And I think it has a lot to do with maybe whom was involved. They're trying to keep things very, very narrowed down and not implicating others who were part of this, who she's trafficking to, you know? I think there's a conspiracy there. There's information's being withheld, obviously. And yeah, she has been in jail. Her brother Ian has been outspoken that she is a patsy. She is being taken advantage of. Basically she's going to be the scapegoat. Well, Epstein's dead. And she's on suicide watch and not able to get any sleep because there's shining lights on into her, cell throughout the night. Honey, yeah, I know it's all alleged, but trafficking minors I just don't, Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Anyway, so got a little bit of background on that. Yeah, so we have that court case coming up. Yeah, opening arguments begin Monday. And yeah, well, I'm going to keep an eye on that case. I'm sure, some of you also, if you're watching this video, are very much interested in that case. So, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about Ghislaine and her family and their connections with Jeffrey Epstein and stuff that she has been accused of and there's, people come out about her, please stick around. Now, if you just want to jump on ahead to the tarot reading, go for it. I have those chapter links down below. You just click the chapter link and you can skip on right ahead. So, without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. I just hope that I can help spread some light on some information. And you kind of get an idea of how or why Jeffrey Epstein kind of got his connection with Ghislaine. Why there was one. Why he was drawn to her and why she would get involved with something like this. Now, Ghislaine was born on Christmas, December 25th, 1961. Her father, here's some information about him. Oh, honey. Robert Maxwell is her father. And he's a possible double, triple agent serving Mossad with Russian support. Oh, we don't know what, I mean, everything it's crazy. And Robert Maxwell, he owned a whole bunch of media conglomerates. He was in competition with Rupert Murdoch. That's another. Robert, though, was truly a cruel father, except for when it came to Ghislaine. He was just a bad, but Ghislaine was his little girl, and he pretty much, I would say, groomed her to take over the family business, even though it'd go, her brothers would probably want to take it. She aspired to be like him. She went on to work for him. Now, some interesting things about her father. He was also a member of the British Parliament, and he was a total fraud. Total con. In fact, how much millions or billions of dollars he had was all inflated to make it seem like he had more than he really did. And that seems to be a trend with some of these wealthy guys, these fake ones, these frauds. You see, Robert had taken out many loans and even used his employees' pension funds to keep his businesses from going broke. Yep, you heard it. He didn't want to business go bankrupt. So, yeah. Now, he was dealing with all sorts of people trying to, accusations about fraud, about his involvement with Israel and the Mossad, and was he also working with the Russians? So what is going on here? He took what money he had and scooped it up, and he thought, I have got to beat out Rupert Murdoch. I am buying the New York Daily News, and this was in 1991, and that drained his finances. It was like now, Ghislaine went to New York to be there to work there when he bought the Daily News. And it was November 4th of 1991 that Robert died under very, very suspicious circumstances. He was supposed to be going to a meeting with the Bank of England to discuss his default on over 50 million pounds in loans. Yeah. And it is said that This, okay, folks. It said he died on his yacht while peeing naked into the ocean. Alrighty then. They said he must have fallen in, he drowned, whatever. They don't know. He was out there peeing naked because he likes to do that, apparently. That was his thing. Now, when his body was found, there was just a graze on his left shoulder, but there were no other wounds. So there were forensics coroners arguing about what could possibly. They couldn't really agree on what was the cause of death, so they just said it's a heart attack with accidental drowning. And the family was rushing everything because, first of all, they didn't want this to turn into a murder case and have everything investigated and all their stuff out there in the public. They didn't want that. And they didn't want it ruled as a suicide because then they wouldn't get their hands on the money. Things would be tied up. So it's like, yeah, let's get this all done. Let's get him buried and gone. Cremated, buried, out of the way. And they did that fast. Now, the family didn't get all the money as they had hoped because of all the fraud he committed and the outstanding loans owed. Banks just start calling in. Boom, boom, taking the money. Now, Robert Maxwell was somehow still kind of a respected guy, even though he had, in a way, mentored Epstein. He had befriended Epstein. It was in the 1980s. Epstein, he was a little con man rising up in the ranks and trying to finance and get people into his schemes. And he learned a lot of stuff from, Mr. Maxwell, apparently. That's just alleged. And some have said that he had wanted his daughter, Ghislaine, to marry Epstein. He wanted Epstein as his son-in-law. He he felt like that was a good idea. Now, people say that they didn't meet until after her father passed, but I gotta say, that seems kind of unlikely. Especially if he was so close to his family, the family in the 80s and such. And in the 80s, Ghislaine was known as, she was a socialite, out on the scenes, befriending Prince Andrew was one of her friends. Prince Andrew, okay. And she just had tons of connections. And it's saying that it was during that time, possibly is when Ghislaine and Jeffrey got to know each other. Because, let's go into here. Now, as I told you, they were trying to hurry and get him buried, get everything done. The Israeli prime minister and president and others of Israeli intelligence all attended a very lavish funeral that was done for him right there in Israel, where he was buried on the Mountain of Olives in Jerusalem. And that's reserved for very, elite, religious leaders and such. But hey, the Israeli president even delivered the eulogy. And Kaddish was recited by his fellow Holocaust survivor, friend, and longtime attorney, Samuel Picer. Now, Elaine's mother, she was an activist for survivors of the Holocaust. And so you got their Jewish roots because they were living through there. I didn't get in, I'm not going into Robert Maxwell's past, but yeah, he has very strong ties to Israel because of his Jewish roots. Now, the British Prime Minister, John Major, said Maxwell had given him valuable insights into the situation in the Soviet Union during an attempted coup in 1991. Major is known to say that Maxwell was a great character and had a zest for life. And while he attracted controversy, envy, and loyalty in great measure throughout his rambunctious life. Yeah, that's what he said, folks. Now, some sources will say that Jeffrey Epstein had some people keep an eye on Ghislaine after her father's death, basically making sure that she was going to be okay. She wasn't going to commit suicide. Just kind of looking out for her. He kind of was just kind of like, I'm stepping up, and that's kind of what it said. It's clear that it was after his passing that you will see Ghislaine and Jeffrey together. And this is what you're like, well, what? Okay, now Ghislaine's family has no money now. So what would Jeffrey need her for? Well, Jeffrey, he didn't have all the big fancy contacts, know all the people in politics and royalty and high status billionaires and that Ghislaine had, because she worked with her father and got to know other people. She mingled. She was also a big socialite in the 80s. Jeffrey needed that from her. She had no money because her father had just lost it all. It's all mopped up, taken up in loans. So she needed money. He needed contacts. She had the contacts. He had the money. Epstein, by this time, he'd become very much of a con man, a fixer of things, and he knew how to launder money, especially going in, using it to launder and, okay, sorry. Through laundering through the purchasing of real estate. Yes. Now, here's some of these allegations about the trafficking, about the abuse of women and minors, and also how he kind of leveraged his power with some of these very powerful figures. It is said that he blackmailed lots of these powerful people by setting them up with young girls and having photos taken of them together. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, people admittedly were surprised that Epstein was even with Ghislaine, because she wasn't his type. She wasn't some young high school girl. No, not at all. And everyone knew Epstein's taste, apparently. There is some of the smoke from the candles and incense is really tickling my throat and making it hard to breathe. So excuse me. I do not want to have an asthma attack. I'm like, smoke, go away. Anyway. There is, I heard about and I watched, that someone talking about how an interaction between Ghislaine, between Ghislaine, it is so hard to talk with messed up teeth, chipped tooth, swollen gums, swollen lips. This is also just icky stuff to talk about, people, and I hope I'm not triggering you just because having been in an abusive relationship, some of the stuff, the control and such, you'll see Epstein, he was a manipulator, but he also, apparently some friends of family of Jeffrey and Ghislaine have said that there was an interaction and Jeffrey had two young girls with him, and He was like, why do you, and saw Ghislaine who was working on something. He's like, why do you put up with this? Why do you? You know, you could just walk away. You could just leave. But Ghislaine is alleged to have said that her father taught her to do whatever it takes to keep your man. And apparently this includes setting up young women for him and participating in sexual acts with these young women, these minors, these children. Ghislaine disappeared after Epstein was arrested and his suspected suicide. It did take a year for the FBI to finally track her down. She has been in jail since, was it November? About a year now. And she is now trying to reach out to the United Nations for help while she's been awaiting trial, which is this Monday. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really also curious about Robert Maxwell's death. I mean, that's a whole other bag of worms, you know, just duh. But I just, you know, you can't help but wonder some of the stuff. Was she involved with? How much was she involved with? Was she a victim? I don't, you know, I just don't like thinking the worst of people, but yeah. So we're gonna get into this reading now and see what we come up with. So are y'all ready? Hi, welcome back. Woo! We are now going to dive into the psychic reading here. Let's see what I could come up with about Ghislaine, her case, her involvement, see what, you know, kind of what we're going to expect. Yeah, I'm curious. Now, please remember that this is all merely alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Kind of see it right down there, right? You see it? Oh, wait, you can't see it. Now, let me... Now, you can see it down there, right? I sleep. Coffee. Let's go for this here. Ghislaine. These two cards popped out. You have the Hangman and the Six of Swords. Oh, Six of Swords. Well, this, I mean, you know, this is like just being stubborn and it's just set in ways. This is what it would do. And this is trouble. Definitely for being so stubborn, I guess you could say. Let's see here. Oh. This did not go as well as I thought. Let's try this again. I think prosecution is going to have some issues. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. This is the prosecution. Yeah, that's strength reversed, which I don't like seeing. With next to all this trouble and stubbornness, it's like they're afraid. They're afraid trying this case. Yeah. They're not happy that they got on this case. It's like, you know, the public, people are going to be like, oh, yeah, you know, go down, bring down the law hard on her, but he's terrified because of those above him and around him. Yeah. Here's the Three of Cups. He has to there is like three sides to all this, and yeah, the Queen of Cups. There's somebody, female presence, on that team who's causing trouble because she really cares about the victims of Ghislaine and Jeffrey. And I think it's clashing with other members of the team who want to be more careful. And here's the Page of Swords. This is... with fear, stupid. They're going to make some really, really stupid mistakes because they're too afraid to do what they know they can do, what they should do. Excuse me, I think that's causing conflict there in the case. Let's see here. And the Ten of Cups reversed. You can all see this. There's going to be a falling out. Just like someone is probably going to get removed. I don't know if it's going to be like somebody from the case is going to get removed. And it's going to cause maybe something go wrong with the trying of the case. The Six of Cups in reverse. It's going to be a real blow to the victims. It's going to make them feel very hurt, betrayed, and like they're not going to get what they need. Closure. They need justice. I see here that there's going to be like a yielding to the defense to let them have things their way in a way. Sheesh. And we have the Nine of Cups. You see, Ursula's like, I'm getting ready. Yeah, this is getting ready for the worst. Because... And it's not the worst for Ghislaine. The victims are going... this is not going to be... Yeah. And then the Seven of Swords. Nine of Cups. It's like doing anything for themselves. The prosecutors are going to be putting their own careers ahead of those of the victims, their clients. That's just what I'm seeing. There's secret plans, abandoning ship, taking off. There is something hidden. Like a deal being made. The devil. There's someone like sabotaging the prosecutor's case. It's sabotage. Yeah. That's... I don't think I'm going to get much temperance. Impatient. It's taking too long. Yeah, I can see this case is taking too long. We got to just... It's supposed to only last 6 weeks, but it's taken forever to get there. Here's the 3 of Wands reversed. This is, like I told you, there's that the three sides. The victims are just like in the middle, mellow, like lingering, like idle, like do something. We can't let Ghislaine get away with this. You know, Ghislaine could possibly, you know, that's what defense is trying to say, that she was a victim to her own father. And here is the Ace of Cups. They are going to... The saboteur is going to win. And it's going to be a victory. It's like, oh, good, we've closed everything off. We can, once we get Ghislaine done with, then boom, all this Epstein and such is gone. It's out. It's in the past. You know, we can move on. But I really think... it's just seeing like two people meeting, you know, discussing things quietly, secretly from both sides, making deals. Let's see what this deck says. Okay, yeah. Here's the clouds. So yeah, we definitely know that there's a bunch of hidden agendas, hidden stuff going on here. We are not getting a full, clear picture, and we won't. Just clear the clouds, clear the clouds. 22. This is a crossroads. I think there's a party. There was a party. An interaction took place that's hidden. See, 41 and 40. This is the well, though, so there's a whole lot more to Ghislaine's story, or what she's being alleged. There is a whole lot more. Be leery of her coming out as a victim, unable to make her own decisions. Be very leery of that. She was such a grand hostess, setting up all these engagements. Or engagements, not like marital engagements, like functions, events, where they could meet the girls and people. She was very much into networking. There is written correspondence here. There's documents like books. It's like a ledger almost of girls and whom and how much money. There's something there. She handled that. She managed all that. I think it had to do with the blackmailing. 28, blackmailing. Here's a mail of guys. I really think time. Interesting. The man, time. I need another card here. Okay. 1. Oh boy. There is a man whom, or masculine energy person here. Okay? Masculine energy here. He's holding information for the right time to be delivered. He's got something he's holding on to the right time. Relationship. Ew. That's not. The tower being nearby means there is the tower with the time. There's just like there is this body of power, this bureaucracy, a seat of power, authority figure who had a relationship with someone, a young girl, but he is kind of pulling the strings right now on what's happening. There was a child. One of these girls, a victim, had a child from one of these men. That is, oh my God. He is a very powerful, he's a man and very, There's been gossip about a love child, about him cheating. He's just full of secret. There's a lot of secret. He has so much information about Ghislaine and Epstein. He's been holding them close. And the child is a secret. 39. We have dice. Took a gamble. That's blackmailing. Taking a gamble. Playing a game with all this. He, I don't know if he's ever going to come forward, but fully about everything. He might have someone in his stead. I think there's going to be a lot of chaos in the court. There could be some kind of mistrial, or you will just hung jury. They're just like, well, is there a jury trial? I don't think. I'm not. I don't want to say this, but I'm seeing it. I'm getting just, I don't want to. Something about it. There's a juror. There's a juror that I hope they don't pick, because, or they've already picked the jurors, haven't they? This is, ooh. I'm using an oracle deck. Queen of my world. All right. Temple of my body. Sacrifice. This doesn't look good to me. I don't like what I'm seeing, and I don't want to like say it, 'cause I don't want to put something like that out there. But it's just a sacrifice being made, peaceful among thorns, to keep the victims, the women of this, their pain and suffering not going to be accounted for. Chance to dream. I am seeing a death. I'll just put it that way. I'm seeing a death, something to do with the case, somewhere, or someone, maybe someone related to somebody in this case. But it's going to cause a major distraction. But it's almost being, it's yeah, and there's some sacrificing themselves to keep peace among all the corruption. I think Ghislaine is feeling that she is gonna the target here. You know, well, if my daddy was still alive, this wouldn't have happened to me. He would have been able to, downcast pride. She is, like the brother's saying, pretty much a scapegoat and falling apart. She's a shell of herself, and very guilty. The child I was meant to be. I just totally see her father being daddy's little girl, and who she thought she was going to end up being, and who she is now. It's all fragmented. It's all a mess. She totally thought like she would rise up and be powerful and with the father's businesses, and oh yeah, it's a very dark, sad story if you think about it. This poor girl. But she made some vile decisions to maintain a corrupt life. That's just the best I could say, right? I mean, she knew what she was doing was wrong. She thought it was all a power play. It was all, this is just fun and games, fun and games. All the money, the wealth, the island, yachts, planes, parties, the people, the hobnobbing. She felt like she was living this fairy tale life, and she would lure girls into the magic of this. I'm seeing her. It's like, see all this lavishness and just come, be welcome. Oh, yeah, and trying to be that friend. And, they're a snake. Yeah. So, folks, yeah. That is definitely, this is gonna just be a messy case so far. I hope that some of this doesn't happen, because I don't want, I'd like to see justice. I want the victims to get the justice. Their lives were robbed. Their childhood, their youth was taken from them. They had been played, manipulated, abused, and used as pawns, as objects among the wealthy and elite. And it is disgusting, and it is a gross abuse of power. And I'm thinking now with social media and the internet and people talking more about, hey, this has happened to me, and it's being like, it's okay. I really think, there was, people thought it was okay, and I got, and I am a victim, and now people are like, it's not okay. We got to take a stand and hopefully get rid of some of the garbage that's out there. Take back the power from these corrupt humans. I mean, it's so, it makes me angry. Yeah, it does. I don't, Ghislaine, I don't have much, it's like, it's sad, I hear about everything you went through, but it's honey. I grew up under some oppressive stuff, and I never thought, no, yeah, so it's, you make your own decisions, and there are consequences. I think this went on for so long, you can't just say, oh, it's just a little one-time thing. I think that's what the courts are going to try. They are only bringing in 4 victims. They're trying to keep it to the minors. They're trying to keep everything closed off with Prince Andrew. And I'm sorry, but that is right there. There's a connection with Andrew and Ghislaine. An information note, and he is trying to have everyone shut it up. It's just too embarrassing for us. No, you guys. Ooh, embarrassing? How embarrassing for you that you would, hide someone harming others. Trying to say the victims are liars. That's real low. That's awful. How dare you? You should be embarrassed. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm done, folks. I am thirsty. I need some water. I'm out of water. Oh, I have coffee though. No, it's cold now though. Anyway, like you really care, right? Folks, you know what? Please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, share this video. Let's get this up to 2,000 subscribers, please. Let's get it there. We can do it. We can do it. And you know what? I love you guys. I really, really do. I see all your comments, and I say this all the time. I really appreciate all the support. I do. You guys are wonderful. So remember, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I love you. See you next time. Bye.